Hello, everyone. I just got back from my walk and I was trying to listen to this podcast, but they were blabbing on, and so I was zoning out. And um, I was thinking about something, and this is fitting for Venus retrograde energy, I suppose. If you don't know, so like Venus is retrograde, and like three other planets are due to be retrograde as well before this month is out. Um, so yeah, we're all digging in past energy. And while Venus is the planet of love, the retrograde is not just love, like romantic relationships that you think about, but all relationships like family, business, friendship, work, etc., etc. Um, is about all types of relationships. And as I was thinking on it, um, thinking like, what can I do to be better at relationships? And I realized a few things about myself that I don't like. Like, the first one is, well, actually, they're like codependent. The first one is the fact that I don't show up. Like, I am so, mm, not flaky. I would say I'm inconsistent with things. And that's partially because I'm a Cancer and I'm moody. So if I don't feel like it, I just don't feel like it. I really don't care. But part of the reason I say they're codependent is because the second one is trust. And if I feel like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes I make an emotional decision, or it's moody and I make a decision in that particular, when I'm in a particular mood, and it's not necessarily a logical decision. But in relationships, in friendships, I feel like I could be more present. I feel like I could be even more consistent. Um, But at the same time, I feel like, what the hell, like, people should accept you the way you are. If I don't feel like seeing you tomorrow or for the next month or so, you should be understanding. It doesn't mean that I don't like you any less. But people be taking that shit personal. So maybe I could work on that. Um, but the trust part is the biggest part, because as I was sitting here, walking around, I've been thinking about it for a minute though, but I really realized that I missed out on so many opportunities because I have no trust in people. And when I say opportunities, I mean big life changing opportunities. Like, sometimes we think that we're not blessed. Like, we think that we're cursed. We think that we don't have any luck. We think that, nothing's going to change, that you're working hard and not moving forward, and et cetera, et cetera. And I was looking back in my own life and realized, when I was like, I think initially, this is funny. Part of it is like, part of my distrust of people, it comes from ignorance, like not knowing any better. But I remember, like, back in high school, my high school teacher, my high school Spanish teacher, he was like, "You're really good at this, and you're the best in the class. You're the best in the school, and the best I've seen in years." And he was like, "You really should go take the court interpreter class." And partially because I was too embarrassed to ask what the hell is a court interpreter, or like, how do I do it, or anything. I didn't, that's part of the reason, like, not knowing. But I also didn't trust that it was a thing for Black people. Like, this white person is telling me that I can be a court interpreter. And it's stupid to think that race would have anything to do with your ability to speak another language. But I didn't know that back then. Everything was, that's kind of how I was raised. Like, this is what Black people do, and this is that. That's that, and there's nothing outside of it. And so I missed that opportunity. I can't say I missed it. I could totally still go do it, but I don't feel like it. That I want to, I have other things on my mind, but like, the point is, I could have been an 18-year-old making $25 an hour instead of being an 18, 19-year-old who's making $8 an hour. Another time, someone offered It was my ex-boyfriend's cousin, and I ain't trust him. I ain't trust him at all. Like, he was just always lying about stuff. But the weird thing is, I knew that he was serious about this. He wanted cash money basically, so he wanted to sell me some properties, and basically he got kind of like a bad reputation as a landlord, and so he wanted to sell the properties to me, put them in his name, put them in my name, and rent them out, and allow, if I wanted to live in one, then I would be paying him rent for one, and then allow the renters to pay the rent in the other unit, and for me to own both of them and just pay him slowly because he needed money and he wasn't getting any money from the properties. And I didn't trust him so much that I just didn't do it. Like, I could have been a 20-year-old homeowner. Um, Not just a homeowner, but like a two property homes. One of them was like a trailer, and the other one was like a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-story home. It was nice, but I did not trust him. And it's like, oh, and that's not everything. Like, don't let me talk about personal relationships, like romantic relationships. I don't trust no fucking body, and I don't mean that in like a cheating type way. I just don't think that people have my best interest and heart. And so when it comes to getting to a certain level of intimacy, even within friendships, I don't feel like people are really my friends. Like, I feel like as if they are trying to get close to me to learn something about me to use it against me. I always feel like people are trying to attack me or to use my energy. Um, I don't trust nobody. And I know I'm smiling while I say it, but as I think about it now, I realize like it's been something that's holding me back in all relationships. Like, maybe, I could have a better life if I actually stopped being so distrusting of everyone and let things kind of play out. Sometimes I'm so distrusting that actually it's not sometimes, it's all the time. I am so distrusting that I don't really actually have like close friends. Um, it's kind of sad, but at the same time, I'm very introverted, so it doesn't bother me a lot. I feel it now during this retrograde season that this is what you've been missing out on. Like, other people are able to get further in life because they have support, because they have friends, because they have someone cheering them on or uplifting them or mentoring them or, giving them words of encouragement. And sometimes I think, damn, I don't got nobody to help me with nothing. And I want to start this business and I want to do this, but I don't know how to, but I'm afraid to ask. And I don't even have good friends that would help me. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a catch-22 where I don't trust people to help me, but at the same time, I need help. Um, so anyway, this is Venus retrograde, and I'm making a big ass confession. It's so freaking true about myself, and now I just need to figure out how I'm going to change that, and wait on the universe to send opportunities of um, friendship, of mentorship, etc. And I mean, obviously, once I open my mind to the idea that maybe everybody isn't trying to harm me, it's so weird that I've done so much healing work that I felt like I've regained certain parts of myself, but I realized that even though the healing work is done, the wound is still there, if that makes sense. Like, I'd become even more distrusting than what I ever was before, if that makes sense. And I can be friends with you and still not trust. Like, you might not know it. It's not like I act suspicious of everybody that I'm around. It's just I know that I hold people at arm's length, if that makes sense. So this is another level of healing. Another level up that I need to do, in a sense, is to challenge myself to stop, I don't know, like, give people the benefit of the doubt, I guess, and to stop, I want to say being prejudiced towards people, like thinking I know what everybody feels and thinks. And, that's not always good. And in addition to that, like, what's the word for it? it's like because I hold everybody at arm's length, I don't really get to anyone's true motives because I don't trust you enough to get to your true motives. I ain't trying to find out. And that's something that I'm willing to be challenged on, I guess. Anyway, it's time to get in the shower and stuff. I want to hear about everyone else's Venus retrograde if you're feeling it like I am. I think it's particularly strong for me because I have Venus in Gemini. You can look that up and see where your Venus sign lies. Um, but the the retrograde is in like 13 degrees Gemini or something like that. So it hits me stronger than other people, I guess. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I'd like to hear if anybody else is feeling this retrograde energy and thinking about relationships and what they can do to improve. And please like, comment, and subscribe and all that good stuff. Bye.